Hello, this is Harwin from IC Wolf. Today we'll be talking about an important concept called values. So a lot of people have different values, so it's important for you to understand what their values are. So as a marketer, you should be knowing about all kinds of maybe political values or religious values or values that come from growing up in a certain cities or backgrounds, economic backgrounds, and those kind of things. And you'd also be able to pick up what the values of a person are while you're having a conversation with them, because a lot of times the decisions what a person makes is based on those kind of values. So if you understand those kind of values a person has, you'll be able to better understand how the person perceives the world around them. So maybe you should, so even if you're not political, you should be knowing the liberal values of how a person, how if a liberal value thinks, how a person of a conservative value thinks, how a person of maybe to how a capitalist thinks, how a socialist thinks, how how a person, this is of maybe a person who is of your country thinks, how a person who is not of your country thinks, who a person of a certain country thinks. And I won't be going into detail about those kind of things, but you should get an idea of what the value of the person is, and those values can also differ from the background they come from. Just because a person is of a certain background does not necessarily mean that they value it and they value it that much. So it's not about just about marketing. You should first also have a conversation with the person and try to find out what their values are. And these are the most it could be the most potent form of sales techniques. So if I'm talking to someone and I just find out what their values are, while maybe I'm selling a gym membership, and I find out what is their value. Is their value to just to become fit or get rid of diseases, or maybe they want to impress the ladies with the physique? So if I find out what is the value and what are they seeking, so what I can do is, if I get what is the value, I can design my sales pitch accordingly, and I can use those kind of points and those kind of values while I'm giving a pitch here. So I've also used it a lot of times. Sometimes I forget to use it. A lot of times people do ignore this, and every time you ignore this, the person will not directly tell you that this is going up not according to my values, and those you'll not be getting those kind of feedback from your customers here. But they will end up not buying it for those kind of reason, for those some reason or another. They will decline it. So this is the most potent and important technique that you could say. Once you know the values of a person, they really rarely change. People don't change their values every day like they change their clothes. And a lot of times in relationships, what happens is people say that opposites attract, or the other people also can get along. But I think that a lot of times the core values, the top three or five values of the person, if they're not aligned, it is bound that the relationship will be having some troubles, whether it's a personal or professional relationship or any other kind of relationships here we are talking about. So you should know that if the values are not aligned, there might be friction ahead, or you might not be getting along so well. So you should focus on these values. It is ignored and it is not taught that much right now than it might be before. But this is, I think, one of the most important things that you can do. And if you do this, you will be able to ignore a lot of the other hype and technical things. But if you've mastered this, you'll be having maybe 70-80% of sales. We could say maybe if there are points, 80 out of 100 points you'll be getting, just because if you're touching those values, if they are the correct values. And you also have to ask it nicely. You just directly can't go on and ask the people that, okay, what are your values? They might not tell you directly. So you have to question and probe out and find out what the values are in the conversation. If you can try to figure out that, I might touch later on the different topic. But values are very important and potent sales techniques, so you should be using them in your copy or in your conversation. You should be aware of them when you're talking. So a lot of times when people fight or those kind of things that happen, it's just because of those values. People don't understand someone has different values for different kind of things. So you can be respectful of those kind of things in the future, and have a better conversation next time. So that's all for now. Just is an important topic. Just because it's a small podcast does not mean that it's not an important topic. So that's all for today. Focus on it. Think about it. The next time you're seeing conversations happening, what is the value of those two persons? And if you see someone fighting, you just figure out what are the values that have been compromised, or what are the values the other person is not seeing. So it's there all around you. Thank you for listening to SU World. This is Harwin signing out.